Hello everybody, this is Shady here, and today I'm going to talk about yesterday's Silent Hill transmission and what my thoughts were on it. So, obviously, first things first, the whole transmission was basically just a bit of a deep dive into Silent Hill F and what we can expect from the game. First thing, we got a new trailer, which pretty much, kind of gave us a hint into the story. So we're playing as this girl called Haniko, and she's basically, her town has been enveloped by this fog, which has made some bad events happen. And the first thing that came to mind when I saw this trailer was this is clearly very heavily inspired by Junji Ito. This to me looks like it's going to basically be like Uzumaki, but as a Silent Hill game, pretty much, which is really cool. Obviously it's got its differences, but yeah, there was a couple of enemies we saw, and they looked basically straight out of a Junji Ito manga, so yeah, that's really exciting. Obviously, yeah, we also got to hear from the creative lead of the game as well, and they kind of, they broke down what the kind of core elements of the game are. Then we also got to hear from the writer, Ryogi07. Sorry, I can't quite remember his name. But yeah, this is a guy who has done psychological horror mangas. And what's really interesting is this guy was heavily inspired by Silent Hill. And he basically said something really cool, that he kind of lost it when he found out that they wanted him to be a part of the game, and then his team basically said to him, this could just be, doesn't mean it's going to be anything big. You could just be, playing a small role. And then when he found out he was going to be the main guy writing it, he was just so excited. And yeah, it's really cool. It's great that they're bringing in people who understand what the series is and love the series. With the Silent Hill 2 remake, we had Blooper Team, who obviously are massive fans of the series. So yeah, that makes me really confident. And obviously we got to hear from Akira Yamanoko as well, the obviously famous composer for Silent Hill, basically worked from the first game. And he said he's going to be working on the kind of dark world, or the other world elements. And we got a different composer for the normal world, which is really cool. So should be good contrast between the two settings. Also, we got details on when the game is set. So it's going to be 1960s Japan, and they said that the town is actually based on a real town in Japan, which is really awesome. And they even showed that they took images of the real town, which is kind of cool. Something they did from the first game. It's kind of an old school kind of game developer thing, which is really awesome. They also showed comparison shots between areas in the game and in real life, which is really awesome. And one thing I really like is, obviously we're going to have the normal world and the evil world, and there's this really cool it's kind of like this rotting flesh that becomes plants. It's really vibrant bright red. It looks really cool. Almost looks like kind of the scarlet rot from Elden Ring or something. It's really cool. And yeah, they just, you can tell that this is kind of the big Silent Hill game for them. The kind of revival of the series. I think a few people are pointing out F more than likely could mean 5. So this is technically Silent Hill 5. So they're probably disregarding Homecoming and all that stuff. Yeah, we have to wait and see. Obviously, being a Silent Hill game made by a Japanese team, I think that makes sense. It's kind of returning to the roots in a way, even though it's in a brand new setting. One thing they did say is that even though this is in a kind of new setting, this is going to be, it's going to have all the kind of core elements of Silent Hill. And I think they said that, they wanted to play around with the setting and do something different, and they thought limiting it to one area kind of, limits you really. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think the setting looks really cool. Unfortunately we didn't get any kind of release date. They just said you can wishlist it. I still think we're going to get it this year, personally. In my opinion, I think, well, they did say look forward to new announcements or more information. And I personally think we're probably going to get a release date at maybe like a PlayStation or Xbox event, because I would imagine one of those have probably kind of maybe got the marketing rights or something. We know a lot, we know Sony and Microsoft love to kind of advertise the game more for their platform. Like we saw, for example, like Alan Wake 2 was heavily marketed for PlayStation, like Trials of Mana and Metaphor was heavily kind of marketed as like for an Xbox. So we could see something like that. So yeah, probably would happen there. And yeah, the game obviously is using Unreal Engine 5, so it looks really good. And obviously it's available on basically every platform, bar the Switch 2. But obviously that's not been announced. So yeah, I would imagine this might even come to that, because obviously it's coming to, PlayStation, Xbox, Windows, Steam, Epic Game Store, like basically everywhere. And yeah, with the, the power of the Switch 2, and its upscaling technology, all that, I think it probably would be possible. So it may even be that we find out something more about it then. But yeah, well, that's just my speculation, so we have to wait and see that. But yeah, I think the game looks really great. Also, I think playing as like this kind of like younger Japanese girl, who's kind of a bit more defenseless, is going to be really, really interesting. They did also say that this game is more about the psychological aspect. One thing that Ryo07, or however you say his name, said was that he didn't want to spoil too much, but he said that you could, like the other games, you'll hear characters giving kind of like cryptic dialogue that will only make sense when you like complete the game. So he said like pay attention to those things, those little details. Yeah, so this is going to be amazing, I think. Yeah, just can't wait to see actual gameplay. It's just a shame we never did, but in a way I'm glad they're not teasing too much, or they're just teasing things and not revealing too much, because I think that makes people more excited. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I've wish listed it already, and yeah, I really hope we get something like cool collector's edition or something, because I will definitely buy that. But yeah, anyway guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.